Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to another video. You read the title. In this video, I'm going to talk about 5 times Giannis destroyed skilled players. Because as we know, there are some people who think Giannis is not skilled and that it's impossible for him to be the best player in the league because only skilled players can be the best players in the league. However, whether you think he has skill or not, he dominates the skilled players he plays against almost every time. So these are 5 instances where he does that, and you'll notice a certain specific group of people always show up. We'll start with May 2nd, 2021, the Bucks against the Nets. Giannis and the Bucks up against allegedly the most skilled duo of all time, KD and Kyrie. Kyrie, some might argue the most skilled player of all time, had just 27 and 6 in this game on 8 of 21 shooting. However, KD dropped 42 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 assists on 16 of 33 shooting, 7 of 13 from 3 in this game. He balled out, but Giannis dropped 49 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists with 3 blocks on 21 of 36 shooting, 4 of 8 from 3. And most importantly, got the 117-114 victory. Contrary to popular belief, he did a great job closing this game. He hit clutch shots from 3 and in the paint, and got the W, out-dueling the most skilled duo of all time allegedly, and balling out, being by far the best player on the court offensively and defensively. Next up, March 29th, 2022, this past season, the Bucks against the 76ers. Going up against Joel Embiid, some people would say he should have been the MVP last year because of how skilled he is, how he can hezzy tween splash as a 7-footer. He had 29, 14, and 7 that game on 11 of 21 shooting, 3 of 5 from 3. James Harden, he's a former MVP, and in this game he played like it. He had 32 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists on 9 of 17 shooting, 4 and 10 from 3. And Tobias Harris, who is wildly inconsistent, he this game had 22, 11, and 6 with 3 steals on 10 of 19 shooting. Sixers played real well this game. All 3 of those guys are real skilled players, but Giannis went and outdueled all of them, dropping 40, 14, and 6 with 3 blocks on 16 of 24 shooting, 1 of 3 from 3. But if you watch this game, you'd notice that he dominated from the mid-range. Hit a bunch of mid-range shots, including a really clutch one, and of course had the game-sealing block against Joel Embiid. He was spectacular, once again the best player on the floor offensively and defensively. And obviously, most importantly, once again, got the 118-116 win. And then 2 days after that masterclass against Philadelphia, the Bucks play the Nets again. The most skilled duo of all time against Giannis, Middleton, and Holiday. Who will win? KD has 26 points, 7 rebounds, and 11 assists on 10 and 21 shooting, 3 for 6 from 3. Kyrie has 25 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists on 9 of 22 shooting, 4 of 9 from 3. But Giannis once again outduels them both, dropping 44 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 assists on 14 of 21 shooting. He was 1 for 4 from 3, 15 of 19 from the free throw line. Balled out against the Nets once again, but in this game the Nets were in control late. It looked like they were going to close it out. They were up 9 points with just like 3 minutes left, and Chris Middleton had gotten ejected from the game. And so to close it out, it was just Giannis and Holiday was struggling shooting against the most skilled duo of all time, allegedly, and 2 of the great closers of all time as well. Nets had a 9-point lead with around 3 minutes left. That's a game you gotta close out, but they couldn't do it. And Giannis hit a crossover step back splash 3 to tie the game. Step back 3 from Giannis to tie the game. KD had a chance to win the game after that, but then couldn't do it. Then at the end of overtime, KD gets fouled on a 3 and makes 3 free throws to give the Nets the lead. Then last chance for the Bucks, Giannis drives to the paint, gets fouled, and then makes the 2 clutch free throws to win the game, as the Nets had one last chance to tie it. KD again, but couldn't do it. Giannis, the game tying 3 at the end of regulation, and then the game winning free throws at the end of overtime to beat the Nets again. Free throw shows not his strengths on average, but once again, when he needs to make them the most, he does it. And the takes flying after this game were absolutely hilarious. The Giannis fans were going crazy, and the KD fans didn't know what to say. But me, as a fan of both of them, and somebody who just loves basketball, this was a very fun game to watch, and the ending was fantastic. Now to the playoffs. Game 7, Bucks vs Nets. One of the best basketball games I've ever seen from start to finish. It was a close game all the way through. Of course, Kyrie didn't play in this one, but an injured James Harden did. He dropped 22, 9, and 9 on 5 of 17 shooting. And of course, KD had a game for the ages. He dropped 48, 9, and 6 on 17 of 36 shooting, including hitting one of the clutchest shots you'll ever see. But then on the other side of this Game 7, Giannis dropped 40 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 assists on 15 of 24 shooting, and most importantly, once again, got the 115-111 Game 7 win in overtime. This game went down to the wire, and down the stretch, Giannis hit clutch buckets. Once again, who would have guessed? He was great offensively and great defensively, and he did something that KD couldn't do, which was score in overtime. Giannis scored in overtime to tie the game over KD. So while everybody talks about KD's performance, and yes, it was awesome, it should be talked about, but Giannis's should also be talked about, considering he also dropped 40 points along with 13 rebounds and 5 assists on great efficiency, but also dominated offensively, defensively, and got the win. All-time Game 7 performance. Lastly, now we have a stretch of games, which is not talked about nearly enough considering the amount that Giannis' skill and stuff is talked about. We have the 2019 Eastern Conference Semifinals, the second round, the Bucks against the Celtics. This is Kyrie's Celtics team. Kyrie is the #1 option. He's the leader. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are also there, but this is their second season. This is Kyrie's team right here, the most skilled player of all time, allegedly. And several people had the Celtics winning this series. A bunch of people said Giannis can't run and dunk his way through the Celtics defense. No way, the Celtics are going to win this series. And the Celtics won Game 1, Giannis struggled, and all the talk was, see, Bucks are done. Giannis shouldn't be the MVP. This was the Giannis versus Harden MVP year. People were saying this is why Giannis can't be the MVP. He's getting locked up by the Celtics. Harden can score in the playoffs. Giannis can't score on this team in the playoffs. It's over. Celtics are gonna win. And then the Bucks proceed to win 4 straight games, dominating the Celtics in every single one of them. Giannis finishes the series averaging 28, 10, and 5 on 52% shooting, 41% from 3, and all that talk is silenced. 4 straight games of offensive and defensive domination by the MVP. He was fantastic. However, on the other side, the alleged most skilled player of all time had an atrocious playoff series. Game 1 where they won, he played great, but then after that, the very next game, he'd have a 9-point triple single in Game 2, shooting 4 of 18 from the field. Then for the rest of the series, he'd shoot a combined 31% from the field. Kyrie Irving, the tween hezzy splash legend, the alleged most skilled player of all time, finishes the series averaging 20 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds on 35% shooting, 21% from 3. Had a 9-point game, and then in the elimination game had 15 points, no rebounds, 1 assist on 6 of 21 shooting, 1 of 7 from 3. After Game 3, where he shot 8 of 22, he said he'd never shoot 8 of 22 again. Then he proceeds to shoot 7 of 22 and 6 of 21. The most skilled player of all time, according to some. All that skill led him to shooting 35%, and no skill Giannis went and dominated. Hezzy, tween, splash, crossover, step back, spin, all of that from Kyrie, and he could barely put the ball in the basket. But Giannis, he spins, euro steps, pump fakes. He has that type of skill, the eye-appealing skill that people allege he doesn't have. But then of course he also has the skill to just score the way he scores, get to the basket the way he gets to the basket, and dominate the way he dominates. He dominates against the most, quote, skilled players in the league, and yet he still doesn't get respect. So I'll never understand that. Whether you think he's skilled or not, which he is, but if you choose to disagree, he still dominates the most skilled, quote unquote, skilled players in the league, but still no respect. he needs to tween Hezzy Splash like Zach LaVine in order to be the best player in the league, even though Zach LaVine's nowhere close to being the best player in the league. But thankfully, I didn't watch basketball games looking for people to tween Hezzy Splash and then start saying crazy stuff. I watch it to enjoy, and so I will continue to enjoy Giannis dominating, and I hope y'all will too. And so hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out my other videos. Giannis has skill, and I'll see y'all later.